Okay, good morning, parents. We are going to discuss our final type of multiplication strategy that the students are going to be learning today, and that is called lattice multiplication. So we've talked about partitioning rectangles, we've talked about partial products, and with both 1 by 2 and 2 by 2 digits. Today we're going to be looking at lattice. So lattice refers to the figure, the shape that we draw to help us organize our multiplication. And so we're going to start with the 2 by 1, so 45 times 3. We're going to draw a box this way. So we're going to put the 2-digit number 45 up here and the 3 here. Then with lattice, you're going to take and you're going to do like a diagonal in each box. Okay, so we're going to start and do the 3 times the 5, that's 15. So I'm going to write it, my tens is up here and my ones is down here. Then I'm going to do 4 times 3, that's 12. Again, my tens is here, my ones is here. So I've got 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 5 is 15. Then what I do is I add along the diagonals, but I always want to start my addition here because ultimately this is going to be the ones place. So if I add along this diagonal, that's a 5. If I add along this diagonal, 1 plus 2, that's a 3. I add along this diagonal, that's a 1. So my answer would be 135 because I add this way, but I read it this way. If you had to carry a number, like let's say this added up to like a 17, you would put the 7 down here and you'd carry the 1 up here and add it in as well. Now, if we're looking at this with traditional, we're going to do 3 times 5, that's 15. And I'm going to carry my plus 1. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So I get the same answer, 135, 135. Again, it's always a good idea to have the kiddos use 2 strategies just to make sure they're doing the work correctly. I'm also going to show you lattice for a 2 by 2. So a lattice with a 2 by 2, we're going to draw our box and we're going to divide it into 4 squares. So I have 26 times 34. I'm going to draw my diagonals, and you want to make sure the diagonals extend past the box because that's where the work comes into play. Here, and then here, and then I just start my multiplication. So 3 times 6, that's 18, 1 and an 8. 6 times 4, that's a 24. 2 times 3, that's a 6. Now if it's a single digit number, go ahead and have a 0 and then a 6, just so we have that 0 in that placeholder. And then 2 times 4, that's an 8. Then I'm going to start adding up my diagonals. Again, I want to start here. That's going to be my ones. So I have 4, 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 8 is 18. This is what I talked about on the last one, so I put down the 8. I carry my plus 1 up here. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 6 is 8. And there's a 0 there. And then I read my answer this way. So 884. Let's do traditional just to check our work. 4 times 6 is 24. Put down my 4, carry my plus 2. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. I'm done with the 4. Let me grab my red marker. I put down my 0 placeholder. 3 times 6, that's 18. Put down my 8, carry my plus 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. I'm going to add these up. 4, 8, 8. So again, we've now learned traditional, partial products, partitioning rectangles, and lattice. So our goal is again to get the kiddos more towards traditional, but we have a lot of strategies that we can use on our journey there. Thanks so much. Have a great day.